Thanks so much for joining us here on this Monday. I'm Brooke Hash. The Blackiston Mill Bridge in southern Indiana remains closed indefinitely after a nearby dam failure. Inspectors began assessing that bridge around 8 o'clock this morning to determine the next steps, but there is no word on when it might reopen. The bridge is a popular route connecting northern New Albany to Clarksville. Now, it crosses over Silver Creek with that dam upstream. Floyd County Emergency Management told us the decision to close the bridge was made after a call came in around 4:20 yesterday afternoon reporting of a dam failure. Officials said excess water from recent snow and ice melting is running through Silver Creek, and that debris is pushing that water into where the dam broke, and cracks have formed on the road by the bridge. The closure will cause major traffic inconveniences.
And it's going to affect traffic on 65, 64, and obviously cause an inconvenience. But for safety purposes, we made the decision to close the bridge.
So again, this is an indefinite closure. Around 20,000 vehicles cross the Blackiston Mill Road Bridge daily, and drivers have long voiced concerns about its condition. Just last month, we spoke to the Floyd County Commissioner about it because drivers were having such issues with potholes. The bridge was built in 1964 and is already set for replacement, with the new structure expected to be completed by fall of 2027. For now, drivers are being asked to use I-64, 65, and Brown Station Way as your detour.
Mexico and Canada have never been good to us on trade. They've treated us very unfairly on trade. And we will be able to make that up very quickly because we don't need the products that they have.
New here at noon, an agreement this afternoon to put tariffs on goods from Mexico on pause. The tariffs were set to go into effect at midnight tonight, but Mexico's president just agreed to reinforce the Mexico-U.S. border with 10,000 National Guard's troops immediately. Also saying the U.S. has agreed to work to prevent high-powered weapons from being trafficked into Mexico. Tariffs against Canada and China are still set for midnight, causing the stock market to slump. Experts warning if these tariffs happen, prices on things like groceries and cars could go up for Americans, and it could definitely have impacts here in the Commonwealth since these countries are among the top 5 destinations for Kentucky exports. These price hikes could have an even greater impact on your grocery bill. Our Clary Shaley reports.
Tomatoes and avocados at Rainbow Blossom stores.
They're going to be on sale starting Wednesday.
But not for long, with Trump administration tariffs set to go into effect. 25% on goods from Mexico and Canada and 10% on China. The tariffs are an effort by the president to put pressure on countries and to boost manufacturing and revenue for the United States government.
There's not a whole lot that we can do to sort of prepare or stock up. We kind of just have to roll with the changes.
Changes that could impact what you buy for the Super Bowl.
So if you want to have guacamole at your Super Bowl party, and you want to use avocados, and Kroger is paying more to get those avocados, they're going to pass that cost on to you.
There's a lot of produce that comes from Mexico, including tomatoes and avocados, but lemons also are from Mexico, along with limes.
We can only do so much. Yeah. That's why we get so much from Mexico in the first place, is because they have the growing region for it.
With prices going up, the burden could fall on the consumer.
I may eat less of them. Yeah, if they became $10, I would probably be irritated, but that wouldn't stop me from buying one or two.
Kentucky lawmakers like Democratic U.S. Representative Morgan McGarvey says the tariffs will impact many different sectors.
This is going to hurt us. These broad tariffs shouldn't happen. And I think we're going to see it raise the prices of everything from avocados to lumber to gas.
Back in the grocery stores,
we're definitely going to look for ways to keep our prices down.
Owners and customers bracing for the impacts.
If these tariffs affect people's decisions about what they're eating, then it's not ultimately very good for their health.
In Louisville, Clarice Shaley, WHAS11 on your side.
Canada's Prime Minister and the President of Mexico have both vowed to retaliate with the tariffs of their own. But again, just in the last couple of hours, a hold on Mexico's tariffs for the next month or so, with an agreement being made over the last few days. Well, Stitzel-Weller Distillery in Shively will stop bourbon bottling operations by April. That is according to its ownership group, Diageo. The company said over time, the majority of its maturing and warehouse operations will be moved to the Shelbyville and Lebanon facilities. 33 jobs in Louisville are being impacted by this move. The Shively Distillery's visitor center will remain open and continue to be the home of Blade & Bow whiskey. A lot of news to get to today, but something we look forward to is just the quiet weather.
Yes.
We're hoping for, Mallory, today.
So nice, so warm. Does not feel like February 3rd, but you check the calendar, it definitely is. As we take a live look outside to the Louisville metro area here, you can see downtown Louisville, lots of blue sky and sunshine out there on our U of L Health and Hughes and Coleman camera. We do have a few clouds off to our north. Otherwise, these temperatures, they are warming up quickly. We did start off at a higher jumping off point in the 40s and 50s this morning, and now we're in the mid to upper 60s at this lunchtime hour. It is going to be breezy out there today, so keep that in mind, but your 24-hour temperature change map showing us up to about 12 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, and yesterday was a pretty warm day. Max HD satellite and radar, it is dry. We're just dealing with those clouds more so off to the north around Seymour up to Cincinnati, but lots of sunshine, especially from Louisville southward today. Now, current wind gusts, as I mentioned, that is kind of the downside of today's forecast. We are dealing with winds gusting 15 to 25 miles per hour at this point. We could see some gusts today up to 30 miles per hour, but those southwest winds, that's what's ushering in these warm temperatures. So expect those highs to run about 25 degrees above normal for this time of year, with highs in the upper 60s and low 70s all across Kentuckiana. Lows tonight will dip down to the 40s for many of us as clouds increase, some patchy drizzle possible, a cold front moves through. We're going to be riding a temperature roller coaster this week. We have some storm chances returning as well. We'll talk much more about that coming up in our 7-day forecast.
Mallory, thank you. Over in southern Indiana, former Clark County Council member John Miller is expected in court today. Miller, who is out on bail, wants Special Judge Larry Medlock taken off his case. Miller is accused of approving funds for New Chapel EMS while at the same time receiving gifts from former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll, who was running that service at the time. Miller recently requested to go to Washington, D.C. to watch the inauguration of President Donald Trump, but Judge Medlock denied that request, noting Miller's high profile and close friendship with Knoll. Medlock's ruling said Miller was given expensive gifts because of his relationship, and that trip could have been perceived as yet another one. Attorneys for Miller argue this shows Medlock is biased against Miller and is more concerned about restoring faith in government by punishing him. Miller's expected in court today at 2 o'clock. Another former Clark County Council member, Brittany Faree, is expected in court today as well. Knoll fathered a child with her. According to court records, she accepted almost $105,000 in child support payments from Knoll, paid with Utica Township Volunteer Firefighters Association funds. Faree is back in court at 1 o'clock today. The former Clark County Sheriff should repay and could repay even more money than originally thought. In a new audit, the Indiana State Board of Accounts accuses Knoll of taking trucks owned by the fire district, selling them to a company in Alabama, and then depositing the profits into the ambulance side of his company, not the fire. The total theft is $385,000 there. Knoll is also asked to repay $255,000 in contracts, which went into the wrong bank accounts, plus $120,000 for the cost of the investigation. Right now, Metro Police are asking for your help finding this man, 21-year-old Cornell Coleman. He's been missing since January 17th, and his family said he was recently released from a hospital in Louisville, and they haven't heard or seen from him since. They told police he was being treated for an illness which requires medication he does not have and does not know anyone in Louisville. Coleman's family lives out of town, and police said he is missing from LaGrange Road near Tom Sawyer State Park. So if you know anything, you are asked to call 574-LMPD. Louisville Fire investigating the cause of a Sunday morning church fire. It happened at New Jerusalem Apostolic Church off of West Broadway just before 7 yesterday morning. LFD said crews found heavy flames and called an additional fire response. We're told it took more than 50 firefighters an hour and a half to get those flames under control. No one was hurt. Well, today the American Red Cross and the KFC Yum Center are teaming up for a blood drive. It goes until 5 this evening. Blood donors will receive a $15 e-gift card from a retailer of their choice. To donate, bring a blood donor card, driver's license, or 2 other valid forms of ID. You can also register in advance at redcrossblood.org using the sponsor code KFC Yum. Parking is free in the park garage, accessible from 2nd and 3rd Streets.